Hi, welcome to another episode of the Paige Doodle Club. Today we are going to be drawing your shoe. This one's mine, you grab yours. You're going to want your shoe, a pen or a pencil, some paper, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. The important thing is that you make your mark. You go grab your stuff and let's get right into it.
Park Street Books is proud to sponsor the Paige Doodle Club. Find them locally at 504 Main Street, Medfield, Mass. Open Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Or visit parkstreetbooks.com. No matter where you are, that's parkstreetbooks.com.
All right. To start my shoe, I'm going to do this in a few different ways. So one will be we're going to draw it normally. Another way is I'm going to do it all in one line. And I challenge you to try the same thing when we get to that point. It's not the easiest thing. You might hate the way it comes out at the end, but give it a try anyway. This is one of those things that in high school art classes, college art classes, at some point, you're going to have a teacher that says, take your shoe off and draw it. And everybody goes, oh, gross. But it is great practice. You can turn your shoe, find the angle that you like. I think I'm going to do my shoe about like this. It's at a slight angle. Your angle of my shoe is going to be different than what mine is. But hopefully you'll be able to see how I'm doing it. This is an exercise that is going to teach you how to get your eye and your hand working together with your head. So a lot of people, when they go to draw something, they're drawing the object as they know it is. So for example, I'm looking at my shoe from a weird angle that's kind of looking down at the top of it. I know what a shoe looks like sideways, and that's what a lot of people will do as they go to draw a shoe. Even if they're not looking at it from that angle, they will start to add elements of that. Almost like if you think of Egyptian art, how the eye is facing towards you, but the face is sideways. A lot of people will draw things almost like that, where things don't quite add up. So as I'm going, I'm paying attention to what I can see and what I cannot see. So for example, right here at the back edge of my shoe, I can't see anything beneath this. This is where my foot goes in. I know that there's more underneath that, but if I can't see it, I'm not going to draw it. Right about here is where I can see the side of the shoe coming out. And so this will be a contour drawing, which means that I'm drawing the lines that I see. And I'm going to make the knot. I made a point to kick my shoe off with it still tied. So right now I'm drawing kind of the outer edge of the lace on this part, but over here it's going to transition, and this is actually the inner part. And then in here it's going to connect like that. And your shoe will be different than mine. You might even be drawing a flip-flop right now. So again, this is a lesson where you're just going to draw the thing that you're looking at as you see it. Not what you know is there, but what you see is there. And the easiest way to do this, in my opinion, is to kind of move along with your eye and then get your hand to copy what you just did. And typically I would draw the whole shoe shape first and then come in to add shoelaces, but in this contour drawing, the way I am looking at my shoe, I kind of have to figure the shoelaces out as I go. So that will be the top area of the shoe. Then I can add the tongue of my sneaker, which is back here. and it kind of fell down into the shoe, so that's how I'm going to draw it. So again, there's a couple ways that people draw, but when I doodle, I typically am drawing something kind of as I know how it is. And if I'm drawing something that is in front of me, I want to be really paying attention to what is where. So this area down here is where my foot actually sits. And I'm just adding a little bit of shading right there so that you can see, oh, yep, that's further into the shoe. And then ideally this line is going to continue from here. And same thing down here. I've got my shoe coming here. So I want all of these things to kind of line up. Now, right here, it's starting to look pretty wonky. This is kind of the side of the shoe at the highest point. This is the furthest edge of the shoe. So the top of the side is right about there. And then it's going to curve out and curve down. Now's where I find out, drawing it in this order, is this going to add up to kind of make a shoe shape, or did I just mess it up? And we shall see. So I want all of this to be kind of one rounded shape. And then I can see the sole of the shoe from about here, and it starts to get wider right at the front. And then it's coming down, and it's really skinny back here. And so now I can kind of transition those. I found this pair of shoes a year or so ago, well, probably 2 or 3 years ago now, actually. And I don't wear them all that often, but I saw them in the store, and they came with teal laces that matched and gold laces, and I had never seen shoes with gold laces. I had to have them. I don't wear them all that often, but I really like them. So there's a logo on the tongue here. And we've got some markings on the side. And then we're going to make the laces going across. So we've got one lace. This is where it really matters if you're paying attention to what you're looking at. So I already made these lines here just to make it a little bit easier. But this is where it will make a difference whether you're paying attention to the thing you're looking at or not. If you end up with the correct number of laces in this space, then you really did an incredible job. Because realistically, as you go, you're going to say, I don't have room for all of that. Or you might say, I have way too much room for these laces. What's happening in the rest of this space? So if you get the correct number of laces coming across here, you did an incredible job. Let's see, I've got 3. And the next one is going over top, so I'm going to do this one next. And then here. And you want the back side of your lace to be coming from the front side, right? So it wouldn't make sense if this part was way over here, because then it wouldn't be coming from this part of the shoelace is going through the hole and right back. So you want to be thinking about how that shoelace is turning before you draw it. Let's see, I got 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's actually one way up at the top. It's way up here. And then this part comes back to this knot. And same thing up here. We've got shoelace, and then it's tucking in behind that knot. Up, and I only drew one end of the shoelace. The other one is over here. Now, you might be thinking, why would I want to draw shoes? What is the fun in that? What's the point? It's great practice, and everybody has a shoe sitting around, so you can, if you try drawing your sneaker, and then you pull out a boot, and then you pull out a sandal, they're all going to be very different, and they're all great practice. I had mentioned that on mine, I could not see the side of the shoe past here, even though I know it's still there. This looks a little wonky for the angle that I'm actually looking at, and I think that this line was probably a little bit lower here than how I made it. But again, you can't be afraid to make mistakes. You have to just jump right into it. Now I'm going to try my shoe again, and I'm going to draw it in one continuous line. Your angle of my sneaker, I believe, is pretty much profile, so you're probably seeing just the side of it. I am going to be looking down at it quite a bit more. But so you're going to try doing your shoe in one line. And it might not come out great, and that is fine. Just give it a shot and don't be afraid to make a mistake. In order to do it as one line, like right now I'm kind of stuck. If you think of it like an Etch-a-Sketch, you can always retrace your line. You just can't pick your pencil or pen up. So if you need to get to another area, you just have to get creative. So I'm going to be retracing a lot of lines as I go. And that's kind of the secret to success as you do this. So this area is going to be a little bit thicker. And then it's curving around. And I'm trying to think of proportion as I do this as well. That line wasn't right. It's more up like that. Okay, I definitely messed this up. But that's all right. I'm going to keep going anyway. This has been the biggest challenge for me doing this series is I am a perfectionist. So doing an episode and realizing partway through that I messed up, it's not fun. But again, I have to take my own advice and be willing to make mistakes and keep going because that's the best way to learn. So even though this wasn't quite what I wanted, I'm going to keep at it. If I was at home right now, I probably already would have stopped and crumpled this one up and started over. But sometimes there's just as much to be learned from the mistakes that you make as there is to be learned from nailing it right out of the gate. This line's coming about like that. And we've got the lace straight across over here. There's also a way of doing this called blind continuous contour. When you do a blind continuous contour, you are not looking at your paper, you are only looking at the thing that you are drawing. That is another great challenge. It is excellent practice. You probably won't like the way it comes out, but I do recommend giving it a shot because it's great practice, and it really teaches your hand to replicate what it is that you're looking at. So it's a great way of teaching your hand to kind of follow along with what your eye is seeing and recreate that. That's what I really like about doing continuous contour and blind continuous contour, is it's great practice for paying attention to what you're looking at and having your hand recreate the shape. Then I can see the inside of my shoe through here. And the sole of the shoe is way down here. And again, your shoe will probably look quite a bit different than this because chances are you and I are not wearing the same shoe. If we are wearing the same shoe, you must have great taste. Just kidding. But not really, right? I mean, I bet you've got great taste. There we go. Again, this part right here got a little bit wonky. That's okay. As you're doing these, you're going to make a mistake. Keep at it. See what the finished result looks like. And then the great thing with doing a continuous contour or a blind continuous contour, if your friend looks at it and is like, man, what is that? That does not look right at all. That's not what your shoe looks like. You say, yeah, well, I did it all in one line. And then they're like, that's incredible. So give it a shot. Try it out. Another thing that you can do, I didn't want to spend forever working on this, but pay attention to the different texture within your shoe. So for example, the front of my sneaker has vertical lines going across. I didn't add that. And then back here, it's almost like wavy, bumpy lines. There's also stitching. There's little holes, different places. So you can pay attention to all that and try to incorporate all of that into your drawing. Thanks for following along. I hope you enjoyed drawing your shoe while I drew mine. Kind of a weird episode, but it's great practice, so don't be afraid to get a little weird. Thanks for watching, and tune in again next time for another episode of the Paige Doodle Club.
Park Street Books is proud to sponsor the Paige Doodle Club. Park Street Books is an independent children's book and toy store. With nothing electronic in the store, Park Street Books encourages kids to read, play, and unplug. Find them locally at 504 Main Street, Medfield, Mass. Open Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Or visit parkstreetbooks.com no matter where you are. That's parkstreetbooks.com.